very hard, having conversations that are very hard, but also just the most delightful and beautiful moments have been among many of you. So here's a litany. It's simple. I tried to capture some of what we've been through in the last couple of days. And so I'll conclude each Thanksgiving with the words triune God, because I'll say triune God, and if you would respond with, we give you thanks. Okay? All right, excellent. Let us pray. For Christian believers with different perspectives, yet a common vision for church renewal, beginning with Reverend Dr. Edmund Robb II and Professor Albert C. Outler, but also so many of us, all of us, the birthing and the sustainability and the flourishing of the John Wesley Fellows. Triune God, we give you thanks. For the gift of Christian intellectual vocations, for teachers and pastors and mentors, preachers and prophets, activists and caregivers who show us the way. Triune God. And for students, for currently funded fellows with energy and creativity and the deepest of faith commitments that teach as much as they learn. Triune God, we give you thanks. For family and friends, so many friends that share vocations for church renewal through their encouragement, their support, their sacrifice, their persistence and presence, and their generosity of time and resources. Triune God, we give you thanks. For Christian community that perseveres as we participate in God's sanctification in this life, but also that connects us to those who have gone on before in the communion of saints, who rest in the life that is to come. Triune God, we give you thanks. And for table fellowship, the meal we share, all those who have made it possible, the creatures and the hands who have given themselves for our nourishment in body and spirit, for the conversation and for the gift of seeing Jesus in one another, even as Jesus is our host. Triune God, we give you thanks. So we offer all these, our thanks, trusting and believing in you. And all of God's people said, Amen. All right, thanks very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Lacey. It is dinner time, and we will, I think we started at the back, so if you sat in the back thinking you're going to go first, oh no. Why don't we start right up here at the front? We'll go this way. So thank you for sitting in the front. So, Steve, will you lead, please? While you're waiting, too, feel free. There's more appetizers, too, and refill your beverages, whatever you can do. That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Can you all hear me? Is it not very loud? Hello, hello. Can you not hear? Can you hear this? Oh, now you should be able to hear this. Yay! I figured out the technology. Thank you. Sorry, I'm interrupting your dinner, some of you, but we are already 30 minutes behind and I'm panicking. No, I'm kidding. So we're going to get started. Tonight we are going to honor 7 of our fellows that are coming off of funding. As you know, as you've been a past fellow, it's that's pretty special. And what we do for these folks now is I let them pick out a kind of something special. So they're each picked out something different. So you can inquire into their bags after they get them. And hopefully it's a little bit of a surprise, but most of them know what they're getting tonight. So I'm going to start with Dr. Craig Hill's a message that he has for Michael Falgot. Michael, where are you? There you are. He has this message for you. And so the other, I'm going out of alphabetical order here. So the other mentors, just finish up your dinner and then we'll get on with that, with yours in just a sec. So, okay. This is from Dr. Hill. I shall always be grateful for the opportunity to have been paired with Michael. He is the model of a highly qualified AFTE recipient and now as a PH graduate in NT from Fuller Theological Seminary and a full-time professor of biblical literature at Mount Vernon Nazarene University, an outstanding credit to this program. Teaching has been a long part of Michael's vocation. Indeed, he holds a Master's of Education and served for 6 years as a middle school and high school English teacher, which is a great preparation on multiple levels. He says, let's hear it for professors who know both how to teach and how to write. The call to ministry came even earlier. A decade before teaching, he started working in a wide range of pastoral appointments, the last 2 of which he somehow did concurrently while teaching. Moreover, he was also the senior pastor of Hemet Church at Nazarene during his first 2 years at Fuller. Frankly, my initial read of Michael's CV made me tired. Michael possesses all the gifts requisite to a long and fruitful ministry as a Christian professor. He is smart, energetic, thoughtful, diligent, resilient, intellectually curious, and in love with his subject. He is also a good man, a caring husband and father, and above all, a deeply committed follower of Jesus. As I said, everything you would hope for in a John Wesley Fellow. Like many other mid-sized, in this case, 1,600 undergraduate students, church-related universities, Mount Vernon Nazarene has experienced challenges in recent years. One consequence of which has some, let me start over. Mount Vernon Nazarene has experienced challenges in recent years. One consequence of which was some layoffs and more turnover. Michael was weathered with ups and downs, with grace, and unsurprisingly proved himself a tremendous asset to the school. It has been a privilege and a joy to converse with him in recent years about these and other issues related to his vocation. I hope we stay in touch, and if you haven't already done so, I hope you'll avail yourself of the opportunity to get to know Michael as well. He is an admirable colleague, a solid friend, and a wonderful Christian brother. In case you haven't already noticed, I'm a fan. Yeah. So, I didn't do that justice, if you can imagine Dr. Hill reading that. I wish he was here tonight. So, Michael, will you come up, please? It's very hard to read all your theologian, although I'm in school, very detailed here, so bear with me on that. Okay, is any other mentor ready to go? Would like to step up? Okay, Stephen Sowers, please come up. His mentee was Richard Clark. Where's Richard Clark? There you are, right next to him. Yep.
Good evening. So when Ken Lawyer 2 years ago asked me to be a mentor, you know, we're all busy. We have a lot to do. Is this the right time? But you've heard me say before how influential that Wesley Fellows has been on my career, on my intellectual life, on my spiritual life, and you know the the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. So I knew that I wanted to do this, so I said yes. And then when Ken paired me with Richie, I was interested initially because he had studied in England and I had lived in England in high school, so that was fun. And then he was the visiting fellow at Southwestern, where Sarah and I had been a couple decades ago. And, I was very interested in this continuing connection with Southwestern, and other AFTE fellows have gone through that program. And so this was great. And it so we Zoomed a couple years ago, and it didn't take me long to figure out that he was really smart. And so last year at the Texas Library, and then last year at WGS, I cornered him and asked him all kinds of historical, philosophical, theological questions that have been bugging me, but which I just really didn't have time to track down. So we talked about Molinism, Arminianism, Calvinism, Thomism. We went all around. We had lunch. We talked about original sin, original guilt, the fall. The whole deal. I wouldn't let him go. So my mentees, they got to earn their recognition. Even over the summer, I tried to get him to explain to me why the ontological argument was sound. I'm still not persuaded. We need another meal. I don't know. But at last, a couple months ago, he reached out to me and said, I've watched these videos and podcasts. Can we talk about this? So finally, after 2 years, I get a chance to tell him something about the one topic I know, which is sacramental theology, which is what we were talking about just a minute ago about baptism and Eucharist. The point is, I have been excited to come to AFTE and WTS so that I could corral my mentee and ask him all kinds of questions that he knew that I didn't. And I think that's a wonderful reminder to all of us about what this fellowship is all about. It has really been a profound blessing in my life. Richie just defended his dissertation. Congratulations again. I'm excited about that. And, he can teach in historical theology, philosophy, ethics, a whole range of topics. So I commend Richard to your love and care. He is soon going to be a senior fellow in the AFTE Fellowship, and I'm so very grateful for all that he has blessed me with. So thank you very much.
Anyone else want to next volunteer? Okay, Tammy, come on up. Tammy is the mentor for Laura. That's right. Please remember, this mentee program is what AFTE just thrives on. So if you are interested and you're not or have not been a mentor, come see us, Steve and I, talk to us. And with that, just know Ken Lawyer has done a great job in leading this, but will be going on a sabbatical. And as I mentioned, he's going through some ministerial issues with his church. So we are looking for someone that would like to take a year and lead us through our mentorship program. So keep that in mind. You want this one?
I think I'll use this because, yes, when Ken Lawyer asked me, I said, of course. it was so important to me. Chuck Gutenson was my mentor and friend, and I'm grateful for that. And then they told me, you have Laura Dahl. And I was intimidated. I can't be her mentor. Thank goodness Jason Vickers is not an AFTE fellow, because he could be is her mentor. Justice Hunter, who is an AFTE fellow, should be his mentor. Chris Johnson, who had her through a master's program, could be her mentor. But for somehow, by God's grace and mercy, I have gotten to know the one and only Laura Dahl. And those of you who've been a part of the WTS scene the last couple of years, you know that WTS would not be the organization that it is, would not have the website that it has if it were not for Laura Dahl. But I'm just talking a little bit about just her. And I asked her, honestly, for her CV, because as I was her mentor, I could not keep up with what she was doing. We all know that there are 3 very important letters to earning a terminal degree, and she is going to achieve those 3 letters with her dissertation when we're all done with the Bible. But right now, she is celebrating being an ABD. That happened on Monday. For those of you who did not hear, she's so impressive. She examined in both systematic theology with the specialization in pneumatology and metaphysics, it's pneumatological metaphysics. In philosophical theology, her concentrations are in the doctrine of God, theories of predation, and Immanuel Kant. I mean, we're not talking light stuff here. I was able to watch her in person deliver some remarks on and respond to Jerome von Kuyken on William Pope. She is class as she just responds evenly, nicely, graciously, wonderfully, and she has got edited volumes that she's been working on. The Wesleyan Theological Heritage, she's co-edited that with Jason Vickers and Steve Hoskins. She has another one coming out again with Jason Vickers and Justice Hunter. They're going to be doing the T&T Clark Companion to Holiness. Her CV continues to go on and on and on. So she is the consummate of the curious scholar who does her work professionally and wonderfully. It's also out of her committed Christian faith that she is doing this work. I didn't mention that she started off her life and thinking she was going to be a nurse. And so she is, and that's out of her committed Christianity as she's moved on and to discover her faith. But what her CV will never be able to share and testify, those of us who do know her, is that she is a caring person. And for that, I'm just grateful to have been her friend and to be her friend. And so, Laura, congratulations on being ABD. We're looking forward to that PhD. This is very heavy. I'm afraid it'll drop off the bottom.
Sarah Sowers, I'm going to let you go next. And you have Miss Sarah follow. Where are you? And right here. Yep, thank you.
Ken obviously paired us together because we have the same first name. Great hair. A partner in life who is also a wonderful partner in ministry. We share so many things in common. And one of the biggest things is our love, our common love for all things Duke, a Duke that has been shaped by its relationship with this fellowship, right? The character of Duke very much reflects the character of the things that all of us here in this room care very deeply about. Both Sarah and I, in many ways, grew up at Duke Divinity School. Sarah literally, as well as intellectually and spiritually, but certainly I grew up at Duke Divinity School in a very important way. I grew up intellectually in my faith, spiritually. I could start listing all of the ways that I have come to appreciate Sarah's character and formation and the way it has been shaped by the values that we share in common. But I think she already testified to those pretty well on Friday night. I think you all had a sense of you all, anybody that was there on Friday night got a vision of who Sarah Fala is. It is. There are so many smart people here at Duke. There are so many smart people in this room. There are so many smart undergraduates here who are here to learn important things, who have the intelligence and the drive to do very well whatever they choose to do. Sarah Fala is a very smart woman. She would not probably be very comfortable telling you that, so I will. She's a very smart woman who has engaged with her studies here at Duke in ways that are both profound and deep, wide-ranging, and meaningful. Undergirding that intellectual drive, that ability to handle the complex ideas that we all love playing with so well, are character traits that are what the world needs. The world does not need many more smart people who are in it for the money, smart people who can manage the world to their own benefit. The world needs more people like Sarah Fala, people who have a deep commitment to doing meaningful work, not just profitable work, who have a deep desire to live out the transformative power of the gospel for the sake of their communities, who are willing to engage in self-examination and do that with intellectual and personal humility so that we can be about the project of maybe doing some of that repentance that we've all recognized that we need to be doing. So there are many people in higher education who have minds as sharp as hers, who have wits as quick as hers, who have a sense of humor as lively as hers. To have all those things without humility, without a drive to serve a broken world, without love, right? Clanging cymbals, resounding gongs, nothing. What Sarah brings to her teaching, her scholarship, her ministry, her volunteer ministry in her church in Nashville are the virtues that we hope to be forming in all of our students. Love, intellectual humility, and passion for service. Sarah, it's been a joy to get to know you. Would you like the handheld? Sure. Okay, there you go. I didn't mention the test.
So Tammy mentioned that who her mentor was. I'm so old that I didn't have a mentor. We didn't have that back in the day. But I've been privileged these last few years to get to know Joshua Topper. What an amazing person who adds so much to our fellowship. And so I'm going to be frank here. I'm on the scholarship committee, and we get to interview all the folks, and they're all great, and they have so many gifts. But there's certain people who you think are going to really become members of the fellowship in a way that they're going to continue to be around and already make a contribution. And that's Joshua. He has, I don't know if I'm sure most of you have already met him and gotten to know him because he's got that kind of personality that just is infectious. And I really appreciate the ways in which he has engaged all of us. But then personally I could go on and on about what he has actually done, his work at University of Manchester, his work as at the Manchester Wesley Study Center. But what I really appreciate is his work on Wesley Studies, which of course is near and dear to me personally, because what he's trying to do with Wesley Studies and what he is doing with his dissertation is he's recovering the stories of the pastors, the preachers, the everyday person who was actually communicating the message of Wesley, and of a universal, the universal spread of the gospel to everybody, and being able to share that in a way that is accessible now for not just for scholars, but for all of us. And he does it by connecting it to missiology. And it's going to be, it already is a great contribution. I heard him just last weekend at the American Society of Church History give a paper that was phenomenal. And so I'm especially recovering the work of Mary Fletcher, so the women preachers in early Methodism as well. Such a contribution. It's been a joy for me to get to know him. He's a pastor, he's a scholar, and he's an individual who we are glad is going to be a continuing now senior fellow in the John Wesley Fellowship. Thanks.
Okay, Wendy or Rob, Wendy's coming.
I need a picture. There you go. Guys, over here. What? Very nice. Okay.
Julie Gumby, where are you at? There you are. Okay. You want the mic or the handheld?
When I was pregnant with my son, I had a doctor in my congregation. And she came to me. We were working on some children's ministry curriculum, and we were talking about pregnancy and this great mystery of carrying life within your body. And she said, my husband and I had gone to the classes, to learn all the things, whatever. And I said to her, they're asking about this birth plan. And I've never done this before. So, I don't know what I'm supposed to plan exactly. And, what if it doesn't, I'll know when I know, I think. Do I want an epidural? I don't know. What will the pain be? I don't know, And so she said to me, actually, Wendy, I find that women who have a really rigid plan actually have the most trauma in childbirth, because when things don't go as they planned, that causes an anxiety and a trauma within itself. So I think it best that you just go to the hospital when it's time and have a baby. And I've thought about, Julie is a midwife. She's committed her work to the care of women who are in the most vulnerable moment of life. And a friend of mine's a dermatologist, and he has said that the most dangerous moment of our life is going through the birth canal. So she's present in a moment when a woman lays vulnerable and naked before strangers, and at a moment that an infant goes through maybe the most treacherous journey, physical journey. And I think it's a great metaphor for Julie's journey in her PhD program. There have been moments that life really did not go as hoped, maybe, or expected. And we talk a lot about our dissertations as the birthing of a baby. It's our child, it's our other child. And when I think about Julie and watching her, since I have been her mentor, I can't help but think about both the vulnerability of life and the grit, the absolute and sheer grit it takes to grow a life and to birth a life, and then to sustain life after you've birthed it. And I think these are the characteristics I just admire so deeply about you, Julie. You're a woman of great strength. You've faced adversity with integrity and with your head held high while maintaining humility. And you're a brilliant thinker. And a fierce mama. And I am confident that God is birthing his goodness into the world through the work that you will bring forth. And so it's my great privilege and my great honor to celebrate tonight Julie Gumby.
Robert, are you ready? And where's my last fellow? There you are, way in the back, Joshua Orndorff. Love. I don't know if you remember last 2 years at the Museum of the Bible when they had their new little baby and Josh was giving his talk, and that little baby walked up, it wasn't a baby, a little toddler walked up on stage and said, Daddy. So precious.
That's great.
Precious.
That was so good. Yeah. Thank you. First, I need to say thank you to Steve for the suggestion on how to spend the break today. I went into the bar. I said, I'm Dr. Rob. Bring the drinks and keep them coming. So the tab's still open, so go on by later today. It is one of those things that you hear about people bragging how much they belong here at Duke, right? And as a non-Dookie, I can't do that. But Josh Orndorff can. He has done so many great things here. And undergraduate at Randolph-Macon, his master's here. James Madison, now a Duke's guy, right, as their mascot. As someone as an undergrad from a Sunbelt school, I'm glad that, the Sunbelt schools are being represented like that. But as Carrie pointed out a minute ago, I think it will be one of those things we'll long remember in the AFTE, as my 20-year-olds say, lore, the core memories, right, will be when, look at the younger folks laughing at me when I say that. It's so good. Yeah, thanks. So, can you tell my 22-year-old daughter that, please? Thanks. If you just put that Insta, that would be great. So I'm sorry. We're on Josh. All right, we're on Josh. It'll be lore. We'll long remember when we went to dinner in D.C. and Josh, brand new, and Michelle there had just welcomed home their daughter that they had adopted from India. And when she came up running into his arms, and what a beautiful picture of adoption, theologically and actually that was. I still picture that thing or that moment even now. I have to admit, when I first got Josh as my mentee, I was not excited. Because I thought I was going to have somebody just like me, right? And I looked at that and I went, there's nothing like Methodist specifically in this, which is me. Missiology, not there, and it has math in it. That is not me. I don't understand. And then we sat down for our first Zoom, and I went, I know exactly why we're together, because this guy is me. So many things that he has been through, I had been through, or we have so much in common. And that was very, very obvious very quickly, from the church he was serving at the time to other things along the way. It has been a lot of fun. That first year we met every month on Zoom, and it was one of the highlights of the month for me. You've heard a little bit about international teaching, and that is something that World Methodist Evangelism has been working with AFTE on that. Really want to encourage you to do that. We have some really great opportunities for you to do that. If you're interested in that, you can talk to me, you can talk to Kim. But for Josh, it was very, very formative as he was young in his thesis process along the way. We'd all planned to go to suffer for the cause of AFTE in Fiji. And everything was all set. And I had a family obligation at the last minute. I had a family member that we cared for who got sick. I could not go to Fiji. And I said, you need to go, Josh, and just take care of things. And that was a formative trip for him. I mean, that you can hear from the Lord in Fiji, yes. Which, by the way, did you know that Methodism is the official religion of Fiji? I mean, y'all, we have work to do there, right? But you should see the pictures of Josh in his Fijian garb. I mean, he's all decked out, and that beard, it looks so good. And it was there that he had all kinds of transformative experiences, not only about his doctoral work, but also it started in some other conversations where now he is the development director for World Methodist Evangelism. As he's getting close to finishing that thesis, I will say this, do not let Kim work you too hard. Finish the paper. Your wife just said amen, okay? We believe in you. We know that you can do it. But Josh, your dedication to your wife and to your 4 kids, the time you've already spent at John Wesley Fellows, the time that you now in this working on a theology of call, your vision to spread the gospel and teach others how to spread the gospel through the work that you're doing is an inspiration to us. We need to better understand call for ourselves, and we need you to help us to help others discern that call as well. So I'm looking forward to all that you will live out in your call and how you're going to lead us in new ways. Congratulations, Josh. I'm very, very proud for you.
Sorry, I said something.